It's bold, it's brash, and it's back. FIBA 3x3 basketball at its very best. Coming up, a carefully constructed team that's built to win arrives at the America's Masters from the Windy City. And once a player at Real Madrid will meet Jefferson Sokas, someone who's fought through plenty of adversity and now is a 3x3 star. Plus, we'll hear from a dunking extraordinaire, someone that's trotted the globe literally and has been on the silver screen. Mexico City hosts a sporting event that has its roots in the parks and streets. A game played on a half court with one hoop over a 10-minute period with 12-second shot clocks and a first team to 21 points winner. It's fun, it's urban, and it's street smart in the City of Hope. On day one of the America's Masters in Mexico City, Sao Paulo, D.C. had double cause for celebration. The Brazilians won against Alexandria and Temuco to finish on top of Pool A and reach the quarterfinals. They also clinched a spot in the World Tour final in Abu Dhabi after their previous heroics at the Debrecen Masters where they finished fifth. Soriani had 4 two-pointers in their opening win, and Sao Paulo, D.C. needed them all because they only won by a count of 17-15 against Alexandria. With Ahmed Al-Sabah pouring in a team-high 6 points, Alexandria beat Temuco 12-7. Temuco, the first ever World Tour team from Chile, had a valiant effort against Sao Paulo, D.C., but went home early following a 15-13 loss. The fans were treated to a terrific Pool B opener between Rio Preto and Chicago. Fresh off a national championship win in the USA, Chicago showed flair and power in abundance, but only edged second seed Rio Preto 21-19. Mike Henry, the MVP of their national championship win, buried a couple of twos and scored 10 points as Chicago got the W. Alfredo Perendini hit 3 two-pointers and had 9 points in the losing effort for Rio Preto. Chicago then sealed the top spot in Pool B with a 21-15 triumph over Loja of Ecuador. Henry again lowered the bull with 10 points for Chi-Town, not only playing above the rim on offense, but on defense too.
Alley-oop! Oh. That was nastier than toothpaste and orange juice.
The American team hurt their opponents with 5 two-pointers. In a do-or-die clash between Rio Preto and Loja, Martin Eminem Martinez turned out to be the hero. Martinez had 9 points on a variety of moves to lead his team in scoring. Alfredo Luis Perendini also had 9 points, but Rio Preto made a surprising early exit. Mogi das Cruzes got their Pool C campaign off and running with a 20-16 victory over Mexico DF. Juninho, a.k.a. Junior, had a pair of twos and 9 points, while Vinicius Cardozo scored 5. The local favorites weren't derailed by that defeat, though. In their next game, they won 21-10 over Buenos Aires, and this time, Gonzalez took over for Mexico. He knocked down 3 twos and finished with a crazy 15 points, the best individual performance of the day. Mogi das Cruzes then sealed first place with a 15-11 victory over Buenos Aires. Juninho had 3 twos and 7 points for the winners. In Pool D, Jawanville reigned supreme with 2 wins, while 4 seeds Talca and Chile came in second. Talca, the other first ever Chilean team at the World Tour, started with an 18-12 triumph over La Plata. Luis Merida had 4 twos and 9 points. Both La Plata and Jawanville had 5 two-pointers in the next game. Facundo Filal buried 3 deuces and scored 8 points for La Plata. But Fabio Schoenberger drilled a couple of big twos himself and had 6 points to lead Jawanville to a 19-17 W. In the battle for first place in Group D, the spectacular Alan Tiago caught fire from long range for Jawanville. He buried 3 deuces and had 7 points as Jawanville rolled 18-11. Jefferson Socas is no stranger to playing for big teams in big competitions. A star with Joinville at the 3x3 America Masters, Jefferson once suited up for Real Madrid in Spain's top flight. He played against world-class players. He was a teammate of top internationals.
My dream was playing in Spain all my life. You know, I really liked the country, the club. It was a big club with all the stars I grew up watching. For me, it was like living a dream, you know. But I had some problem with my back, so I had surgery and I come back to Brazil. Now I'm healthy and I play in the 3x3.
It was when Jefferson was coming off of an injury that he decided it was time to try 3x3. People had suggested the switch before, and he felt the timing was right.
The manager of the team always asked me to play with him 3x3, but I had a contract. I was playing the first league in Brazil, so this year I hurt my knee. I could not play in the first league, and the manager say, "Hey, let's go, let's play the 3x3," and I say, "Okay, I want to."
Jefferson being able to play for Joinville has made the 3x3 adventure all the more worthwhile.
I was born in Joinville, and it's my city. I'm really proud to represent Joinville.
When he showed up at the America's Masters, he dreamed of winning and making it to the World Tour final in Abu Dhabi. If he were to play in the Emirates, he'd see a familiar face, someone that plays for the two-time defending World Tour champs, Novi Sad Awada, Dejan Majstorovic.
I know Dejan Majstorovic. He played with me in Spain 1 year in the small team of Madrid. He's a great guy. For me, he's like a real brother, you know, because outside of the court, he's a great guy. Inside of the court, you want to play with him, you know. Great defense, great three-point shot, and he had the mentality of a winner player, you know.
Jefferson wants to do something special in 3x3.
I think we have all the things that 3x3 asks for a player. I think we can make some trouble for the other teams.
When the knockout round got underway, the quarterfinals, Sao Paulo DC took on Talca of Chile. And Sao Paulo, the top seeds at the America's Masters, played like a team on a mission. They hit 9 two-pointers. Yes, 9 two-pointers. Soriani connected on 4 long balls and pulled in a game-high 9 points as Sao Paulo cruised to a 22-13 win. Sao Paulo DC's Ismar Neto drilled 3 twos, and Leandro Lima added 2 of his own. Vladimir Lamberg scored 8 points, but it wasn't enough for Talca.
Just gotta keep playing hard. We had a bad start, but we kept fighting, we kept shooting. We know we have a good shot, so finally at the end, we got it through.
The second quarterfinal saw another Brazilian team, Mogi das Cruzes, square off against Loja of Ecuador. Big man Nilson Santana had 6 points for Mogi, and Eduardo Ferreira buried a couple of twos and added 5 points. The third seed at the America's Masters grounded out a 16-8 W. Loja simply couldn't get in the flow on offense. They were led by Alexander Guerra's 4 points.
In the beginning of the game, 2 or 3, 4 points, and then just hold the score in the front. That's what we did, and we won.
In the third quarterfinal, Chicago had another opportunity to show that they're a powerhouse on the rise against Mexico DF. After slamming and jamming and swatting their way to 2 victories in the pool phase, Chicago got it going against the local stars. It was Mike "Oh My" Henry doing most of the damage for a team that is undefeated since its 3x3 debut this summer. Henry hit 4 two-pointers and had a game-high 12 points as Chicago won 21-16. Mo Riddick hit a couple of big 2-pointers himself for Mexico and scored 6 points, but Chicago had the wind in their sails and stormed into the semifinals.
When you're at home, it's a tough crowd to play against, you know? Well, when you're on the road, you gotta be a road warrior is what we call it.
The last quarterfinal was the best in terms of going right down to the wire in a battle of 9-seed Alexandria of Egypt against 5-seed Joinville of Brazil. This was a game where Jefferson Socas would be the hero. Alexandria didn't hit a single 2-pointer, yet they still made enough plays to lead 16-15 in the final 30 seconds. This is where Jefferson took matters into his own hands. The 25-year-old went to his left, got into the lane, and finished off the glass. Then the former Real Madrid player forced Alexandria into a turnover to get the ball back for Jawanville with just 3 seconds left.
So with 3 seconds on the clock, Socas, pull up! He goes off the window for the game! And Jawanville send Alexandria home.
We have Chicago in the next game. They are playing really well. I think we improved our game since yesterday, but against Chicago, we need to improve even more.
The shootout contest never disappoints at the 3x3 Masters, and in the Americas Masters that was played in Mexico City, the fans got some home cooking because Mexico Day FA sharpshooter Mo Riddick made it to the shootout final, where his strong competition ended up being Facundo Filal of Argentina representing La Plata. Filal did well, stroking some shots from the racks and totaling 10 points, but Mo Riddick, he went bananas. After hitting 2 shots from each of the first 2 racks, Riddick nailed 8 in a row, count them, 8 in a row, including the last 3 from the 3x3 logo for a haul of 15 points overall, a new all-time record on the World Tour. He captured the America's Masters shootout title going away. Chris Staples isn't just in a world of his own when the basketball is in his hands and he's flying towards the rim for a dunk. He makes sure that it's a big occasion for everyone watching his every move with wide eyes. The Detroit native used to dunk on his free time while working at a recreation center, and he could tell that he was causing a stir. That's one reason why it's now his chosen profession.
Started seeing the reactions of people when I started making dunks, so I kind of liked that attention, so I wanted to continue to do it.
Staples isn't just a professional dunker. He's become an actor since moving from Motown to California just a few years ago. Staples lives close to Hollywood and does commercials.
In Hollywood, they have a lot of actors and guys who look like the basketball player, and that's what they use for commercials. I mean, in a commercial, you can edit anything, but when you have an actual dunker come into the studio or an actual dunker come to the audition, that changes it. Like, hey, you're like an automatic shoo-in. So I've done maybe like 6 or 7 commercials.
Staples knows fame. He's so skilled and talented with the basketball that he's been a Harlem Globetrotter.
The Globetrotter taught me how to just have the personality to not make things look so difficult. You know, I get paid to do this, so have fun with it. And if I'm having fun, the crowd's gonna love it. And that's how I'm gonna treat every dunk contest, to go out there, have fun, entertain the crowd, just as like when I'm with the Globetrotters, and to get the crowd on your side too, because that's, you know, very important in a dunk contest.
While he's entertained with that celebrated team, he's also learned some things that have helped him in his chosen profession. One staple to his profession is that dunkers need to be innovative. He's always thinking of ways to make his exhibitions more entertaining.
I believe having beautiful girls in your video is eye candy. It's eye candy. I mean, the crowd, why would you not like a beautiful girl? I don't have to always jump over another basketball player. Why not have this beautiful girl? It adds more to the crowd, add more effect to the game. So, you know, why not make it even more entertaining and bring more people over there?
The dunk contest at the 3x3 America's Masters in Mexico City had a couple of superstars. Chris Staples and Justin Darlington were in spectacular form as they flew through the semifinals on into the final. Darlington had plenty of flair. His best dunk may have been before the final when he did a cartwheel and then picked the ball up off the ground before throwing it down.
The coordination and the athleticism is probably underrated in a dunk like this. That's why you don't see many guys attempt it.
Both revealed themselves to be world class. Staples certainly was. twisting and turning in the air on all of his attempts. With one, he even perfected Jordan Kilgannon's scorpion dunk, instead catching the ball with just one hand.
Did he just do what I thought he did? A smash from Chris Staples as he makes the scorpion dunk look easy. So Justin just fly. There might be a new king of the North. Jon Snow, step out of the way.
Staples got a perfect 30 when he applied his philosophy of dunking over pretty girls and went 360 between the legs before rocking the rim.
You know, I believe that's a crowd favorite. I have fun doing it. Glad I made the dunk on the first attempt, and I'm, happy to win.
Staples clinched the victory and got a big check at the end. Sao Paulo, DC squared off against Mogi das Cruzes in an all-Brazil first semifinal at the America's Masters. Already assured of a spot in the World Tour final, Sao Paulo, DC wanted the glory of a Masters event title in Mexico City. Ismar Neto and Leandro Lima were a different class as Sao Paulo won 21-15. The lefty Neto hit 4 twos and had a game-high 10 points. Leandro was close behind with 8 points, including a mean crossover that got me off of my feet.
Oh! That was sick! Filthy McNasty! The crazy crossover, then the one-handed mash!
Nilson Santana and Eduardo Ferreira led Mogi with 5 points apiece, but the top seed Sao Paulo marched on into the final.
This game is tough. This Brazilian team is good too, but we've been playing for a long time now. And the team game came up at the end. Everybody was hitting shots, everybody was defending, and we got the win.
Chicago and Jawanville then met in a pivotal second semifinal that had a lot riding on it. The winner would not only advance to the title game for the America's Masters, but the winner would also be guaranteed to finish in the top 12 in the World Tour season standings and therefore clinch a spot in the World Tour final in Abu Dhabi. Chicago came out flying with Alfonso McKinney alley-ooping, one of several for the Chicago Star at the Masters. But Jawanville stuck with it and had the game knotted at 8 apiece over halfway into the game. That's when Stefan Hanna struck with a 2-pointer for Chi-Town. It triggered a game-winning run for Chicago, who went up 20-8 before settling for a 20-16 victory. They clinched a spot in the Americas final and a spot in the World Tour final in Abu Dhabi.
It was tough. I mean, they played hard, but I mean, we just stuck to what we do and we came out victorious.
It's by no accident that one of the most exciting developments in FIBA 3x3 showed up in Mexico City for the America's Masters. Team Chicago, the winners of the USA 3x3 National Championships at the end of August in Colorado Springs, is all by design. It was carefully constructed by Michael Ranovics, the CEO of an organization named 3Ball, who envisioned having a professional side that could hit the ground running in 3x3.
Well, we wanted to put together a team that could really do some damage and win not only the national tournament for the U.S., but maybe go beyond. And we know that there's a certain type of player with 3x3. You need versatility. You need to be able to shoot. You need to be able to drive to the basket, pass, and defend. We want guys who can play together as a team. Chemistry is obviously critical. And Chicago is such a hotbed for basketball. When you look at a city like Chicago, I think they represent it well. They're also guys who really care about what this is and what this represents.
Mike Henry, Stefan Hanna, Alfonso McKinney, and Terrell Green are all Chicagoans and play for the side.
We look at a bigger picture than just basketball, like we represent Chicago, because there's so much negative and so much backlash from just being from Chicago. And we want to show people that we got a different mindset too than just the negative.
Chicago basketball is a family, and we're all Chicago basketball players, so us playing together is like us playing with anybody else.
Each player has its own distinct qualities, yet each is also unselfish. It's why they showed up for their first 3x3 Masters events in Mexico with an unblemished record of 17 wins and no defeats.
I think we bring different personalities to the team.
You just get to experience every person for themselves, and you get to know them on a nice, genuine, friendly level.
I'm that guy that brings smiles to my teammates' face and make them laugh and just be that energetic spirit.
The talent, the chemistry, the drive, it all adds up to winning.
We 17-0 to start because I think we all bought in to something bigger than ourselves. We gotta win every game, every possession, every moment, everything counts.
I think the 3-on-3 game is fit for me because as soon as you get the ball, it's like score, and that's what I do best. So
I kind of like the 3-on-3 because it's more fast-paced, and that's the type of player I am, switching and guarding. That's just me.
Well, if we win the whole thing, then we get to go to Abu Dhabi and compete for the 3-on-3 World Tour Final, and we want to win that championship as well.
We look at a bigger picture man, we want to win. We want to prove to people that we from Chicago and they know what Chicago is. This is what we're about. We're about winning.
The title showdown at the America's Masters in Mexico City was a clash between USA and Brazil. It was Chicago against Sao Paulo, DC. Chicago, with all 4 players making their Masters debut, had been putting players on a poster so far. Sao Paulo, DC were an established #1 seed in Mexico City and had been gunning from outside the arc since day one. Both had already clinched a spot for the World Tour Final, so now they were playing for pride and, of course, the 10 Gs. Chicago played much of the game above the rim, and Michael Henry, the most dominant player in the tournament, put an exclamation mark on his overall performance with 8 points and a game-winning shot as Chicago won 21-13. Henry, with his outstanding performances from start to finish in Mexico City, was named the MVP, no big surprise. What Henry gave the team inside with his powerful and yet graceful play, Stefan Hanna gave on the outside with his scoring punch. He had 3 twos and 8 points in the W. Sao Paulo had to settle for second best, but they'll be chomping at the bit to face Chicago again at the World Tour Final. They know they can play better, and they know they'll have to play better if they have a shot at winning next month.
We had a great competition, but at the end, we didn't play well. I don't know what happened. I hope we get them in next tournament, and we're going to beat them for sure.
Team Chicago, Abu Dhabi, Chicago.
That's a great feeling, man. Not many people can say that, man. That's 3 tournaments in a row. It's exciting. Very competitive.
It's that time again. A look back at the rejections, the game winners, the shake and bake moves, and the alley-oop smashes that left everybody buzzing at the America's Masters in Mexico City. Coming in at number 5, Alfonso McKinney, a.k.a. the Fonz, with defense tighter than those leather jackets he used to rock on happy days. Man, if you don't get that weak stuff up out of here. At number 4, who you gonna call when the game is on the line? Not Ghostbusters. Jefferson Sokas. He'll be there. Just call him the Jackson 5. Crazy game winner for Juwanville. At number 3, it's Mr. Mike Henry, a.k.a. Oh My, showing off the bunnies and the coordination on this ridiculous reverse. In at number 2, Leandro Lima. He's a big man, but don't get it twisted, or he'll get you twisted. Somebody call the coroner, because my man's ankles just got bodied. And at number 1, Check out who just blew in from the Windy City, the Fonz. The only thing missing from this one is the cucumbers over dude's eyes. That's a facial. The America's Masters in Mexico City was a terrific last event before the World Tour Final, which is just around the corner, by the way. It'll be live from Abu Dhabi on October 27th and 28th. Remember, you can follow it live with the hashtag 3x3WT on all of FIBA 3x3 social media channels on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat.